So we have Jessica Mitchell on Pure Country.
Hello.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you, friend.
I know.
I know.
This is our first interview ever.
Like post-friendship. Yeah, this is great.
I know.
We have to keep it professional.
Next time we'll do it with a glass of wine.
Yes, perfect.
That sounds good to me.
I'm so into that.
You just got back from the UK.
I did.
How was that? Was that your first time taking your music over there?
It was my first time taking anything over there.
Okay.
It was a very overwhelmingly amazing, inspiring trip. Like I found the crowds there are just so different. Like I find that they just like, that's where the singer-songwriter was born.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So I think they are so attentive and they just love music so much. So I had a blast at that festival. It was called the Long Road Fest.
Okay.
And then I just explored London for like 4 days. And London is so great. Have you been?
No.
Oh, it's so wonderful.
I'm dying to go.
So much history.
And did you get a chance to actually meet fans and stuff and do meet and greets and get to know some people out there?
Not so much. I think it was a very in and out situation. Okay. But there was a songwriter series thing that they did because they love the show Nashville over there, which is funny because it's not on anymore. But they caught on to it a little late, so they love that sort of Bluebird type situation. So I got to be a part of one of those later on in the afternoon, and very interactive. They're very chatty, but in a good way. So it was it was really cool to meet some British people. I love the accents.
I feel like you would do a good British accent.
I actually do a really good British accent.
I had a feeling.
It's great.
I just had a feeling. And I feel like with a glass of wine it would get even better.
Probably
a little
worse.
more Cockney.
Yes, super Cockney. Yeah.
So you are going out on the road on the second part of your Heart of Glass tour, and you're taking out some artists with you that I happen to know.
I know.
How fun is that for you to kind of get to do your show your own way and have people that are coming out to see you? Yeah,
it's still a bit weird because I think I spent the bulk of 3 years opening for everyone and anyone that we possibly could.
Some pretty cool names though.
Yeah, and it was great. And it's such an opportunity when you do stuff like that because it's I get to learn from this person for the next, month or 2 weeks or 3 months. Like with Johnny Reed, when I was on the road with him, we were out for 3 months. So I saw that every single night, and he's such a professional. So I took little pieces of things like that. Yeah. Same with Terry, with Terry Clark, took pieces of her, and you learn very quickly what to do and what not to do.
Right.
And how not to be and how to be and those sorts of things. So in terms of my own show, putting together a 75-minute set, it gets a bit sad.
Yeah. To go to a Jessica Mitchell show, you have to be prepared to feel
there's a lot of feelings. I have a lot of feelings, but I think when I did my first headlining tour last year, it was so overwhelming because I was like, is anyone gonna come? I think that's the first thing that you start thinking. You're like, is anybody gonna show up? And people absolutely did. Whether it was in droves or it wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't think it mattered because those people were there to see me, which I think is the coolest part ever.
Absolutely. And I know I have a lot of friends of mine that have gone to see you in concert, and it is emotional. I've cried at your shows many times, but it's one of those things where you are so honest with your songs that I feel like people leave and they go, oh, I'm not the only one that feels like that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's really important for me to do that in my music in general. And segue, I've started writing for my second record.
I was just going to ask you that.
Yep. I'm really good at segues. Segue. I just started writing for my second record in August. And
so were you in Nashville for that?
I was in Nashville for a week. I'm heading back at the end of November as well. And it's really weird because I'm in such a different headspace than I was in. I took 2 years off from writing.
Right.
I didn't write a song for 2 whole years. And it was a great sort of cleanse. Mm-hmm. You're like, I don't want to be creative. I just want to focus on live and just do that. And some really interesting stuff has been coming out.
Well, you're in a whole nother section of your life now.
I'm domesticated.
She's got a new house.
And I just moved in with my boyfriend.
So maybe some love songs?
I wrote some love songs. I wrote, some conscious sort of content that to me I had never really touched on before, getting older and, talking about where I come from and my drug addiction and things that I never really wrote about before. I started to write about. And it's really weird, but it's cool. And it's not depressing.
No.
So it's like some, you know,
So
it
I'm not gonna
sounds,
cry.
No, you still will cry. Everyone will still
I
cry.
always cry.
It's just definitely I'm just in a different headspace than I
Yeah.
was in. I'm not miserable anymore. I was miserable for like 5 years. So, and I'm not anymore. So I think maturity starts to come out in your writing when
Don't
that
take this the wrong
happens.
way, but I can tell that you are just a happier human.
No,
and
I
love
am
seeing that about
yeah,
you.
I am. I'm very happy. I'm very like settled and
Good.
comfortable in my own skin, which is so important.
Yeah,
it's really
and
important.
I mean, I felt that probably a year ago, and it's such a strange feeling to wake up in the morning and go, I'm good.
Yeah, you like look in the mirror and you're like, I don't hate that person.
Yeah, this is a good day.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I don't credit it necessarily just to like the relationship or the team or, you know, things that, or the build of the career or even the build of the personal life. Like, it's just, I think in general, like, I think I just made a decision and I was like, I can't be miserable anymore. I want to be happy and I want to enjoy the things around me. So there's going to be a lot of that, I think, on the new record. It'll still sound sad. I decided, I was like, I can't, you know, start writing like
Can't stray
up-tempo,
away.
like fun stuff. Like the content will be happier, but the music will still sound sad.
Well, I mean, you just have such a beautiful sound. So, I mean, I think no matter what you sing is going to sound that way because that's you. So you are our iHeartRadio future star right now.
Thank you.
For somebody going to get hurt with.
I'm charting.
You are.
It's like amazing. I'm so happy.
And-
Thank you for that.
Yeah, of course. I love this song, and we both love Tim Hicks so
Like,
much,
the most. Yeah.
So how fun was that to get to do that with him? Because two voices that are so very different, and I think a lot of people, when you guys announced that you had a song coming out, it was kind of like, what is this going to be?
No, like actually a lot of people were like, what? They were like, what is this? The thing that I credit Tim for the most, that I think he might not necessarily get credited for a lot, which I hope that changes, but he can sing his butt off.
Yes.
Like, he can take his voice to places that he maybe doesn't even know he can take them to sometimes. And so we went into the studio, and this is a really funny story. I didn't think anybody knew about this, but then it came out last week. Someone was like, did this happen? I was like, yeah, how'd you find out about that? He showed up in the studio thinking that he was just doing background vocals.
Okay.
So, and like legit. And I said to him, I was like, no, you're taking a verse. And I was like, and you're taking a chorus, and you're taking this, this, and this. And he was like, okay. And he did it. And he went into the booth and he just murdered it. Like, he took it to this whole other place that I never even considered that song to be a duet. We just started bouncing around ideas of how to close the Heart of Glass chapter with a single that kind of took it back to the Whiskey days.
Right.
That sort of sound or whatever. And Tim it was an obvious choice. You know what I mean? And I love him so much. And I'm so happy to be a part of that family with him. And he's just brilliant, and I'm so glad that he sang on it.
I love it, and I cannot wait to hear you guys sing it live together.
Yeah.
It's got to happen.
We're going to.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
'Cause that's something that
We're
needs
gonna.
to happen and be documented.
We're going to do it.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I just noticed on your social media the other day a little something that you announced that just happens to be pretty cool, I guess. Celine Dion has a new album coming out.
Yes, she does.
And you happen to have written a song called The Chase that's on there.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How stoked were you when you found out that just, no big deal. Celine Dion listened to a song.
She heard me,
loved it.
and loves my voice apparently, which is kind of the weirdest part I think about this whole thing. It's really funny in the songwriting world, and I think a lot of people don't talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. We know about things for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, I've known about this for like a year and a half.
You have to sit
straight
there.
up. And so we're sitting there waiting, and you hope, like, all you can do is hope and pray that it'll make the record.
Right.
I heard she recorded upwards of 100 songs for that record. And I remember it going down. It felt like it was on Survivor. It's like, this chunk of songs is voted off the island, this chunk of songs. And so it started kind of, dwindling down until it got to that sort of top 20, top 25 place. And then when I found out the news, for sure, I just spent the entire day calling friends and crying.
Yeah.
I was like, just friends. I didn't tell anybody else.
Don't worry.
Because we had to wait until it was like the track listing was officially out.
Right.
But she was my first concert. She was the
So
first
cool.
concert that I ever went to. And it's just so crazy. Like, she's literally the best voice in the entire world in music. And and I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait to hear the final version.
And I can't wait to hear you sing it.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold off on that. I feel like I'm not allowed.
Not
I feel
allowed
like
for a little bit.
Celine Dion, like I
But
feel
maybe
like
one day.
Yeah, one day maybe. maybe when she comes here in December, I'm hoping to go to the show, and if maybe I'll just be
Just make a little call
can
into
I
her.
come up and sing it with you?
Yeah, that would be
but that
great.
won't happen.
I'm gonna cross all my fingers and
I'm gonna
toes
come
for that.
crossing my fingers, my toes, my hair
My
strands,
legs.
everything. All the
Okay,
things.
last thing,
Yes.
because this one is also pretty cool. I know this song meant so much to you. It means so much to you. And then to find out that Trisha Yearwood is going to record a song called Working on Whiskey, which is one of my favorite songs you've ever put out, but also is the saddest, most emotional song I've ever listened to in my life.
Yeah.
So it's number 1 on her new record.
Yeah, track 1.
How did you feel when you found out? Because, I mean, that's got to be tough because that's a song that means a lot to you to let that out.
Yeah, and I think I battled. Everybody battles with things like that. Like, I'm sure, Sam Hunt, with Cop Car, like things like that. If you were to ask him, that song meant a lot to him. And it's like Keith Urban recorded it and made it a smash and made him huge. And I think that there's opportunities like that you are given that you absolutely should not say no to.
Right.
And it's great because I didn't listen to a lot of country growing up, and I've never been like, I've never hid that. It's never been something that I've been like, I didn't listen to country. Like, I just didn't.
Yep.
But the people that I did listen to were, Trisha and Faith and Shania and, things like that, where I would sit in my room and, sing along. So she was one of the voices in my life from a very early age, and to hear something like that is just it's a full circle, beautiful moment.
Yeah.
And she, has been so nice about it, and she really loves the song. Her and Garth Fundis, her producer, and we've talked, and she's so nice. Like, the day that I got the email from her, I was like, what does that say? I was like, is that
Trisha Yearwood.
Is that it's like, no, it was like Trisha Brooks or something. I was like, oh, okay, this is happening. So I'm hoping to meet up with her in November when I'm in town and get to shake her hand and thank her for that, because that's going to open up really beautiful doors for me that I'm very excited about.
I'm so excited for you. Those are so many cool, big, full circle moments for you.
Yeah, it's been a good year.
And 2020, I'm sure, will be even better.
I hope so.
All right. Well, good to see you.
Thank
Jessica
you.
Mitchell on Pure Country.